The U.S. Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, and we talk about it a lot, outside the Bible, I believe, and I think most thoughtful people believe it to be the greatest document ever written. And if you put it in the context of human written document, it is the very finest. And it is that way because it's based on the fundamental principles of freedom and liberty as identified in the Bible, fully consistent with Judeo-Christian worldview thoughts. And on that hangs all of our entire Bill of Rights, starting with the First Amendment, the freedom of religion, assembly, and speech. Now, as long as the citizens of our nation have embraced a Judeo-Christian worldview, the Bill of Rights, and each person's view of right and wrong, duty and responsibility that accompanies this Judeo-Christian worldview, as long as that has been in place, then freedom and unity has been able to be the result. But when the rise of ideologies like Marxism and Islam found their way by stealth into our national fabric, our institutions of higher learning, the media, then conflict has emerged. And that makes the question we deal with in this segment so pertinent. And that is this: does the First Amendment of our Constitution guarantee the freedom of religion and to all religions, regardless of their view of freedom? In other words, specifically, does the First Amendment guarantee freedom to advance and act out on the tenets of Marxism and Islam, for example, in America? We're going to deal with that. IQ, you are not a U.S. citizen. I've already told our listeners your background, but you are a friend of freedom. You are an expert on Islam and Marxism. You've warned against the rise of Islam in America and their plans to subvert and take over the reins of power. In simple terms, I'm going to ask you, yes or no, does the First Amendment guarantee the practice of a religion that embraces such total exclusion and a redefinition of freedom such as Mohammedan Islam does?
The answer is no.
All right. Now, I'm going to hold right there. I want to play a clip, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier on the last segment, IQ mentioned a statement by this individual that I'm going to play, made a statement about Islam and the First Amendment that he believes to be one of the most important statements made. And in this speech, CARE, the Council on American and Islamic Relations, demanded, after they heard some of these comments, demanded that Senator Cory Gardner from Colorado, Donald Trump Jr., and Secretary of Housing, Urban Development Ben Carson, all who spoke at this Freedom of Religion conference, they asked them to come out and repudiate this anti-Muslim hate, they're saying, spewed by this state senator. Let's listen right now to 2 minutes worth of what he said.
Now, I want to talk for a minute about what freedom of religion does not mean. I'm going to speak with tough love from the heart, with no animosity or disrespect toward any individual. Please hear me carefully. Suppose somebody originated a belief system that claimed exclusive right to revelation, the command from above, and harnessed that aggressive claim to a burning sense of victimization, the wound from within. What a loose cannon that would be. Suppose its claim of revelation included a totalitarian political economic system, not subject to reformation, set forth in a holy book, not subject to revision. Suppose its legal scholars and clergy insisted the day is coming when that book must govern all mankind, on penalty of death to whoever would refuse to submit. And suppose, finally, this belief system had been around for over 1,000 years, deepening its victim complex, its rage, reinforcing its unbending absolutism and its dreams of global conquest, until today it commands the allegiance of 1/4 of the Earth's population on every part of the Earth's surface. Yes, I'm talking about the belief system called Islam. It's true we all know Muslims who are likable neighbors or capable co-workers, deeply decent, patriotic Americans who humbly love Allah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this absolutist totalitarian worldview and political doctrine that demands everyone, you and me included, ultimately submit or die. So here's the hard question for all of us as freedom-loving Americans. Put it in terms of that bumper sticker, the one that says coexist. How can aggressive, dominant Islam and its supreme law, Sharia, coexist with friendly, tolerant America and its supreme law, the Constitution? I don't honestly see how it can.
Dave?
Yeah, Sam, I've not heard something that direct and that powerful in a long time. IQ, wow, I want to get your take on that. Specifically, he created a distinction, IQ, between aggressive, dominant Islam, and then he said there are Islamic neighbors that we all have that love America, that are committed and loyal to America. Do you agree with that component? And if you do, tell us. And if you don't, tell us why not.
Well, it's not a yes and no. I love the way he said it, because he wasn't aggressive, he was being decent. My question to him would have been, it is inconceivable, based on Sharia, that any Sharia-compliant Muslim to be both a good Muslim and a loyal citizen among Americans. He didn't want to go overboard. You've got to understand this. I am politically incorrect to the nth degree. I don't have to be correct, because I don't have to be politically correct. I spent 30 years of my life studying, researching, and understanding Islam. I destroy Islam in less than 100 seconds. No problem at all. I'll give you an example now. Every Sharia-compliant Muslim is the eternal and mortal enemy of every human being who is not a Muslim, called kuffar, infidels. Currently, 80% of humanity, comprising all Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, agnostics, pagans, etc. 2. Since Muslims are mandated by their Quran to either subjugate all humanity to Sharia or be exterminated, therefore, fearing Islam is totally rational and not fearing Islam is utterly irrational, then Islamophobia is an oxymoron and a meaningless expression. Third and final, therefore, it is impossible, I'm repeating it, it is impossible for any Sharia-compliant Muslim to be both a good Muslim and a loyal citizen among non-Muslims, kuffar, infidels. If you calculate the time, it's less than 100 seconds. Okay? And I wager the sum of $200,000 that no one can prove any of my statements wrong or untrue. What more can I tell you?
Well, IQ, you've made that challenge many times, not just on this program, but elsewhere. And up to this point, no one has accepted your challenge. And it's because you are going to the very heart of the mandate, the mission of the Quran and Muhammad.